Okay, second grade, welcome back. We're gonna do our color theory project now. And to get started, you need a piece of white paper. I have a piece of cardstock. I like to color with that sort of paper. You'll need a ruler or a straight edge, a pencil, and you'll need crayons. Now, the crayons I took are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Okay, so I took the colors that go around the wheel, the color wheel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan you down so you can see what we're doing. Alright, so I'm going to take my hand and put it down into the middle, and I'm going to trace my hand on the paper. My paper is vertical, it goes up and down. Don't do it this way. You want to make sure the paper is nice and tall. So put your hand down, spread your fingers out a little bit, and just trace. Notice when I start tracing, I'm down at the bottom, and I'm tracing some of my wrist also. So I'm just going to go around. If you can't do this on your own, ask mom or dad to help you, or maybe brother or sister. There. So I have my hand traced, pretty easy, right? All right, now I'm gonna take my ruler, and I could measure this, but just for the demonstration, I'm gonna just do it without measuring. But what you wanna do is you wanna make nice, even, horizontal lines go right across your whole project. You see what I'm doing? So let me continue to do that. Using a ruler will help you so much. I know in school a lot of times I ask you guys to use a ruler, and some people try to do it without it, and the results are just not the same. Please use a ruler. Okay. So do you see how I did that? Pretty easy, right? Now, here's how we play our color theory game. I'm gonna start with red. And I'm gonna find the first line that has my finger, which is right here. Do you see it? So I'm gonna color the tip of my finger red only, because that's what's in that line. And every time a new part of your hand enters a new line, you change colors. So there's red. Now, the next color would be orange. I have to follow the rainbow. So in this line, I have this finger. I have the second part of that next finger there. I love crayon. Crayon is such a great art tool to use because you can color in it. Puts all the pigment in so beautifully. And also I'm coloring on a tablecloth, which helps too, because it helps the crayon glide better. Okay, so there's my yellow. Now, the next one would be, oh, I'm sorry, there's my orange. Now I'm gonna move into yellow. And I'm gonna work my way down my hand, coloring in the positive space. Now we learned about that when we went on our field trip with Matt in week 1, and if you didn't get to see that video, I still have it online. Positive space is the shape of the object. The negative space is the shape around the object or the air. Alright, so the next color is going to be green, because as we learned in our introduction video, it goes red, orange, yellow, green. I also like, this is a little trick, I do this without even noticing it, but I like to outline what I have to color first. It kind of helps me block it in. Do you see what oh, no, look at that, a little bit of my pinkies over there. I didn't even see that guy. See how I blocked that in first? Will help me out. All right. So there's my beautiful green. Okay, there's green. Now I move down to blue. Again, I like to outline all my shapes first so I know exactly where I'm going to go. Right, there's it outlined. The neater you are with this project, the better it's going to look. So take your time. Okay, so there's my blue. And then the last one is the violet. And then I keep moving down the hand until I get to the bottom of the wrist. Oh, now look at this one. The purple, or the violet, has all those little marks where the fingers meet my wrist. So I gotta be careful when I color here. And if you don't have crayons at home, well, you can use marker. You can do this with paint. You can do it in black and white. The point is to be creative and keep your hands busy, right? All right, so there's my violet. And now I'm gonna continue and move my way down my hand. And when I'm done with that, I'll show you the next step. Alright, so boys and girls, you can see, let me pan you up. I finished coloring my hand and I love the way it looks. And I am going to work with the complement color of each line. So I'm going to start with the red, and we learned in the introduction video that complement colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. So for example, red and green are complements. They look great together. We have the next set of complements, which are blue and orange. Love those two together. And then we have our violet and yellow. So using that as my guide, and I can always go back to my introduction video and check out the color wheel, I know that I have to start with green first because my first part of my hand was red. So I have my green, and now I'm going to color the line that the red tip is in. And I have to be careful and neat and just go around my little tip. And color that line green. Now, the next color I'm gonna need is blue because orange and blue are complements. So I'm just gonna go in the negative space. That's the space around the fingers. And this part's a little bit easier because it's just a straight line, but you still have to be neat and careful. Okay. Look at how that's starting to look. Now, the next one is yellows, so I need to use, do I hear you at home? Violet, right? Okay. So here is my negative space in between my yellow. And again, I like to even outline the shape first. You can see how I did that here with the purple, or the violet. Boys and girls, I keep switching that word for purple and violet. But purple and violet actually are two different colors. Violet and purple are not the same. And if anyone can tell me the difference in it, you can email me at pricet@pearlriver.org. I'd like to see who's doing some research in art. So let's see who can figure out what the difference is between violet and purple. Mr. Price has a terrible habit of calling it purple, but it's really violet. So now, here's green. So I need the red, because red and green are complements. And I think you get the hang of this. It's like a game. You just got to keep putting in the right color in the right spot. And as you work down, be neat and careful. And I'll link back up with you, and I'll show you how far. I'll stop and show you when I get to about here, okay? All right. Alright, so boys and girls, you can see I got down to the bottom, and Mr. Price has to just clean up some of his stuff here. I noticed I got a little sloppy, right? I was getting excited, I was getting to the bottom. So let me fix some of that. Oh, I love this. Okay, now, we have to talk about the lines at the top, because your hand might be smaller than mine. You might have a lot of lines going up towards the top that I don't have. So what I want to do is I want to continue the pattern. So if my last color the color I started with was green, let me find a green here and a green here, and above both of my greens were yellow. So I'm going to continue with the yellow. Do you see why you don't do those top ones first? Because you want to be able to continue the pattern. So there's yellow, and then above the yellow was orange. So I know that the top line is orange. So do not start at the top of the page, or your pattern could get a little mixed up. Isn't that fantastic? What a beautiful piece of art. And it's a great way to show complement colors. And if I look at that, to me, it almost looks like that hand is popping up a little bit. It's almost like an optical illusion. I think that looks really cool. And tracing your hand and coloring it in is a great way to document the size of your hand at this time in your life. So on the back, you might want to write your name and the date. That way you know when you did this, and you can measure the size of your hand when you're older. So I think this was a fun project. I think it really helped me remember what the complement colors are: red and green, blue and orange, and yellow and violet. So boys and girls, give it a try. I hope you liked the project. If you master this and like to try something else in art, please feel free to click on any other grade level link and see what they're doing. Also, please email me or have mom or dad email me at pricet@pearlriver.org with pictures of you working or some of your artwork. I'd love to see it. And tune in next time to another Art Online, where we'll have more fun and exciting projects for us to try. Have a great week, boys and girls, and I'll be in touch.